As the fluorescent lights flicker above and the sterile smell of antiseptic fills the air, an unsettling tension hangs in the corridors of care. What starts as a routine visit to the doctor can quickly spiral into a chilling nightmare where trust is shattered and shadows hide dark truths. Imagine yourself in a seemingly safe haven where every whispered secret morphs into a lurking threat. Tonight, we delve into the ultimate tales of medical horror, stories about creepy doctors that will haunt your thoughts and make you question who truly holds your fate. But before we delve into tonight's terrifying tales, a huge shout out to all of you. Your support fuels this channel and keeps the nightmares coming. If our eerie stories captivate you, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a chilling episode. And if you want to help us grow and keep the fear alive, share our videos, drop a comment, or explore our support options on Patreon or Ko-fi. Every bit of support helps us bring you the best spine-tingling content. Thank you for joining us on this dark journey. Now let's embrace the shadows together. During my internship at a bustling urban hospital, the environment was electric with activity. Doctors hurried through the halls, nurses tended to patients with practiced ease, and the ever-present sounds of beeping machines filled the air. It was an exhilarating place to learn, yet the enormity of the experience sometimes felt overwhelming. One quiet night, with the hospital relatively calm, I decided to explore the building a little more, unaware that my curiosity would lead me to a terrifying discovery. As I wandered through the dimly lit corridors, I stumbled upon a door labeled "Authorized Personnel Only." The sign intrigued me, and despite the warning, I found myself knocking softly. When no one answered, an insatiable curiosity compelled me to push the door open. What I found inside was like stepping into a nightmare. The room was cluttered with old medical equipment, dust motes dancing in the dim light. The air was thick with a musty smell that made my stomach turn. In one corner sat a dilapidated examination table, its surface marred with age, while the walls were adorned with faded anatomical charts that seemed to depict a different era of medicine, one that had long been left behind. But the most chilling sight was a locked cabinet in the back of the room. Its door was ajar, tantalizingly inviting me to look inside. Against my better judgment, I approached the cabinet. As I pulled it open, my heart dropped. Inside were jars filled with preserved specimens, what appeared to be body parts suspended in murky liquid. Photographs of patients captured mid-surgery stared back at me, their expressions frozen in pain and fear. Flipping through the case studies revealed a series of procedures that were performed without consent. My pulse quickened. It felt like I had unearthed something grotesque and forbidden. Panicking, I stumbled out of the room and rushed to the nurses' station, desperate to alert my supervisor about what I had just witnessed. I was met with skepticism. "It's just a storage area," she said dismissively, her tone suggesting I had misunderstood something trivial. But how could she not see the gravity of what I had discovered? My unease deepened. Determined to uncover the truth, I returned the next night, only to find the door locked and the room completely empty. It was as if it had vanished from existence. I asked my co-workers if they had ever heard of such a room, but they looked at me as if I were delusional. It felt like I had fallen into some alternate reality where the truth had been deliberately erased. Feeling increasingly paranoid, I turned to online forums and shared my experience. To my astonishment, I found a hidden community of individuals recounting their own creepy hospital stories, secret rooms, bizarre occurrences, and inexplicable phenomena that resonated with my own experience. It was both comforting and unsettling. As I continued to share my story, I sensed eyes watching me from the shadows. Staff members began to exchange glances, their expressions wary, as if they were aware that I had uncovered something they wished to remain hidden. One night, while leaving the hospital, I felt a presence trailing me. I turned and saw a figure lurking near the parking lot, their face obscured by darkness. Fear surged through me and I hurried to my car, my heart racing. The mounting anxiety finally pushed me to leave my internship. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was in over my head, caught in a web of secrecy and deception. Before I left, I posted one final warning on Reddit, urging others to be cautious about their healthcare experiences and to trust their instincts. Even now, that room haunts my thoughts, a grim reminder that the places meant to heal can also harbor the darkest secrets. I wonder how many other horrors lie hidden behind the walls of hospitals, waiting for someone brave enough or foolish enough to uncover them. In a quaint little town nestled between rolling hills, Dr. Harris was more than just a physician. He was a trusted family friend and a community cornerstone. With over 20 years of practice, he had a reputation for his compassionate approach and attentive care. Families felt safe in his hands, often treating him like a member of their own family. So when things started to take a turn for the worse, it sent shockwaves through the community. It began with my friend Mary, a vibrant woman in her 30s who had always been the life of the party. One afternoon, she confided in me about the relentless headaches and crippling fatigue that had taken over her life. After weeks of enduring these symptoms, she finally decided to visit Dr. Harris. With hopeful anticipation, she described her symptoms, expecting reassurance and a solution. Instead, after a quick examination, Dr. Harris attributed her issues to stress and handed her a prescription for painkillers. "Just take it easy," he advised with a warm smile, dismissing her concerns. Weeks went by, and Mary's condition only worsened. She became increasingly isolated, unable to engage in her favorite activities or even complete daily tasks. One night, after experiencing severe dizziness, she was rushed to the emergency room. The diagnosis was devastating. A brain tumor and immediate surgery was required. The news shattered our group of friends, and we couldn't comprehend how Dr. Harris could have overlooked such a serious condition. In her anger and frustration, Mary took to social media, sharing her experience with a heartfelt post. To our astonishment, the post went viral, drawing in a flood of responses from others who had similar experiences. One man recounted how he had gone to Dr. Harris with severe abdominal pain, only to be told it was just indigestion. He later learned he had a perforated ulcer that nearly cost him his life. The more stories we read, the more unsettling the pattern became. A sense of dread settled over us. Was Dr. Harris overwhelmed by the demands of his practice, or was there something more sinister at play? Whispers of malpractice began to circulate, and with them came a growing sense of urgency. Determined to get to the bottom of this, my friend Lisa, a nurse at the clinic, decided to investigate. Lisa began poring over patient records, and what she uncovered sent chills down her spine. There was a shocking correlation between misdiagnoses and prescriptions for high reimbursement medications. It felt like a chilling game of roulette. Lives were being gambled for profit. She confronted Dr. Harris about her findings, hoping for a rational explanation, but was met with defensiveness and anger. His demeanor changed, and for the first time, she questioned his integrity. Fueled by a sense of duty to protect the community, Lisa reported her findings to the local health board. The investigation that followed sent shockwaves through our town. Dr. Harris's reputation crumbled, and patients began to abandon his practice in droves. Trust had been shattered, and a sense of betrayal enveloped us all. As the scandal unfolded, the atmosphere grew increasingly tense. Lisa began receiving anonymous messages warning her to stop digging. Some messages were laced with thinly veiled threats, chilling her to the bone. One evening, as she was leaving the clinic, she noticed a shadowy figure lingering in the parking lot, watching her every move. Panic gripped her heart. It felt like she was being hunted. Eventually, the investigation reached its conclusion. Doctor Harris was found guilty of multiple counts of malpractice. His medical license was revoked, and the community was left reeling from the betrayal. The man we had trusted was a fraud, and the scars of his actions ran deep. Though Lisa's bravery led to the implementation of stricter oversight and better patient care protocols, the shadow of Dr. Harris's betrayal lingered. Many of us questioned our trust in medical professionals, a feeling that would take years to heal. Mary's journey became a rallying cry for accountability and vigilance in healthcare, a reminder that those in positions of authority can sometimes become the source of unimaginable pain. Let me tell you about my friend Mark, a bright and thoughtful young man in his mid-20s who faced an uphill battle with depression and anxiety. For years, he had tried countless medications, attending therapy sessions that often felt like a fruitless endeavor. Despite his best efforts, he struggled to find relief, caught in a cycle of despair that seemed never-ending. So when he stumbled upon an advertisement for an experimental treatment trial at a local psychiatric facility, a flicker of hope ignited within him. Perhaps this could be his breakthrough. Mark attended the initial meetings with a mix of excitement and skepticism. The staff at the facility appeared genuinely caring, taking the time to listen to each participant's concerns. They explained that the trial combined a new medication with innovative therapy techniques, and for the first time in years, Mark felt a sense of optimism. He believed he was finally on the path to healing. At first, things seemed to go well. After starting the treatment, Mark noticed gradual improvements in his mood and energy levels. He even began to re-engage with hobbies he had abandoned, feeling a spark of joy that had long eluded him. But as the weeks progressed, that flicker of hope began to wane. The side effects started to creep in, debilitating migraines that left him bedridden, vivid hallucinations that made him question reality, and an overwhelming sense of dread that suffocated his newfound progress. When Mark voiced his concerns during group sessions, the staff reassured him, dismissing his symptoms as typical adjustments to the medication. "It will get better," they insisted, but their words felt hollow. As the days turned into weeks, Mark grew increasingly anxious, feeling trapped in a treatment that was supposed to help him, but was instead pushing him further into darkness. Desperate for answers, Mark turned to online forums, hoping to find others who had experienced similar issues. What he discovered sent chills down his spine. Numerous individuals had participated in the same trial and reported alarming side effects that had been downplayed or ignored by the facility. It became clear that the organization had a troubling history of unethical practices, including pressuring patients into experimental treatments without proper consent or information. One fateful night during a group therapy session, Mark overheard two staff members discussing the pressure they were under to produce favorable results for the pharmaceutical company funding the trial. The realization hit him like a ton of bricks. He was just a pawn in a larger game, and his well-being was being sacrificed for profit. Panic surged through him. He knew he had to escape before it was too late. With the help of a sympathetic nurse who recognized the gravity of his situation, Mark managed to leave the facility under the pretense of needing to step out for fresh air. Once outside, he felt a wave of relief wash over him, but it was quickly replaced by urgency. He reported his harrowing experience to the authorities, triggering an investigation that ultimately led to the trial's shutdown. In the aftermath, Mark took to health forums to share his story, determined to warn others about the hidden dangers of experimental treatments. His experience became a cautionary tale, sparking conversations about the ethics of medical trials and the need for greater transparency and accountability in healthcare. Mark's journey served as a stark reminder of the fine line between hope and exploitation in the quest for innovative treatments. What began as a beacon of possibility turned into a nightmare, illustrating the importance of vigilance and skepticism when navigating the complexities of healthcare. He learned that while many professionals genuinely strive to help others, there are those who will exploit the vulnerable for their gain, lurking in the shadows of desperation. If you've encountered a terrifying event or have a spine-chilling horror story to share, we at Eerie Shadows want to hear from you. Share your experiences with us and let's uncover the mysteries lurking in the eerie shadows together. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more eerie tales and spine-chilling stories like this one.